underlying energy is the Seven of Pentacles. So we're working with energy that is slow. Okay, y'all put in a lot of effort and a lot of work, but you guys are, I get a sense that y'all are really working, thinking about the future and how to, not really how to get there. I feel like that you guys are right now. You guys are really trying to get to the, the bits and pieces of how to get to the where you want to be. But I feel like there's a little bit of frustration in regards to that, right? Like you guys are feeling like you're doing everything that you need to do, but there's not a lot of effort. There's not a lot of stuff pushing that stuff forward. I feel like there's a lot of you guys in a relationship with a Leo. Weird, I know, but I feel like somebody, y'all interacted with somebody that's Leo. But I know it was weird. I'm sorry, but I do seriously feel like there's a lot of focus on the end game more so than the how game. And I don't honestly think this is on you guys. I think you guys are like looking to try to get things like, get things squared away, trying to plan ahead and really focus on the task at hand. But I don't think it's reciprocated right now. Okay, there's a bit of frustration here. I feel it. Like this energy is just like, ugh, like come on, like that's what I'm getting. Now I completely understand that, especially if there's somebody that's not really cooperating with you. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, this is something that kind of, I guess this is one of those things where the Seven of Pentacles does really talk about what is going on right now. Because, like I said, you already understand and know what your future is and what your future holds or what you want to make out of your future. You're making that crap happen now, which is absolutely wonderful. However, if there seems to be like a little bit of slow energy on someone else's part, I think that's where it kind of comes into really kind of shifting that focus from where you want to go to why it's taking so long in the first place. So I think there's something going on. There's something going on in regards to either your partner or just maybe just frustrated energy in general. Like there is a lot of, like I said, focusing on what you're ready to gain more so than how you plan to get there. And I'm not saying like, everybody does it. I do that all the time, Cancer. Okay, I do that all the time. So we're human, okay? Now, in the heart of your reading, you have the Six of Wands. This is absolutely wonderful because this talks about recognition through your effort, right? You guys are putting in a lot of crap into this, okay? I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but you guys are putting a lot of effort, I feel like. And I don't think you guys are really being noticed right now because the person that, I guess, either you're not being recognized for your efforts. I think the reason why you're not being recognized for your efforts is because there is, I don't know. I feel like the energy here is slow. Like I said, slow energy, right? It's taking a while. This person that you're interacting with could be very, very meticulous, right? They're very plan oriented, and they like to look at the details. And I feel like this person could be like, they could be taking this process slow and really not necessarily acknowledging the work that you're putting in. Not really seeing what you're putting into the work that you've already done already, right? I feel like that's why there's some generated energy here that's kind of frustrated because you're doing a lot of stuff, but it's really not being acknowledged right now because someone else is just kind of, granted, the Knight of Pentacles is not really tunnel vision per se, but they're very goal oriented, right? They can pick apart every situation because they move so slowly. They're very meticulous. But I feel like there's some slowness in regards to getting to your goals because there isn't a lot of recognition on your part, right? There's nothing really being seen on your end that you're doing the thing that you need to do. And I feel like that can be very frustrating in itself. For some of you guys, this could basically mean that you guys, what's keeping you from having that victory or being, having that that success through your efforts is because there isn't a lot of planning involved in this. It's just kind of more of doing. Maybe there isn't a lot of seeing things, a detail-oriented fashion. There could be just like slow energy, but perhaps there needs to be a bit more of planning per se. And I think that's what you guys are doing right now. I really do. I think the thing that's keeping you from victory is not planning. And I think this person that you're interacting with, or, the situation, is kind of making planning very difficult. So, shoot, I don't know, y'all. Like, this is crazy. Because you guys have the Three of Pentacles in your present. So, I think you guys, like I said, y'all are planning right now. But there is something going on. Like, you guys are doing stuff. You're doing what you need to do. And you're trying to plan things out in the way they need to be. I don't know if somebody else is on board. Because, if it's so frustrating, then what is up, right? So, let's go ahead and get on to this, right? In the past, you had the Knight of Swords. So, I feel like you guys have either been in a relationship or gotten in a relationship with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. More so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, like that formation there. But I feel like that you guys kind of charged ahead. You guys knew what you wanted and you went after it. You guys were like, look, I like you, you like me, let's just be together. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that is perfect, okay? I think you guys really just, jokes aside, I really think you guys went after what you wanted, okay? You guys charged in and made it that effort and that truth of yours known, okay, to get what you want. And now you kind of got into this place here where you've kind of, conveyed your truth and everything. And now you're having to plan for the future. You're really trying to you're really trying to take what you get pretty much said and expressed and putting it into more solid and stable grounds, right? You're really wanting this stable the stable beginning with this person, or the stable life, or this long-term relationship with this person. Like, how are you guys going to get there? What are your goals and what is your, careers in mind and stuff like that? And I feel like you're trying to do that within a group right now, right? You're trying to really kind of get all your ducks in a row, line all your aces up, right? You're really trying to get things settled, so a practical sense where you guys can at least say, this is what we're headed, this is the idea of how we're gonna get there. For some of y'all, I don't know if you guys really want to have it detailed to the very T, but I feel like you guys are at least trying to get some sort of structure going on here. I'm getting frustrated for y'all, okay? You guys are really trying to get some structure going on up here, okay? But you guys have Temperance in the future, which talks about divine timing. Okay, so divine timing, that means managing the things that you're dealing with. It's pretty much the Seven of Pentacles, right? Waiting very patiently for the things to come to you while you're managing the things that you can control, right? Focusing on the now. And I think that's what the future is pretty much telling you right now. It's like there's a lot of focus and emphasis on the future. And I think that's absolutely perfect. At the same time, there isn't a lot of in the now work for the future, if that makes sense. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I think there's a goal that you guys want to get to in regards to your relationship, but there could be some situations where this person may not be on board, and that's the actual task that needs to be done now to make sure to get to your future faster, if that makes sense. Because after the Seven of Pentacles, there's still more work to do, but that focus shift from why they're frustrated to how to get to where they want to be, if that makes sense, okay? And I'm not saying I'm not saying that you guys are being impatient. I feel like you guys are seeing the work ahead, and you guys are kind of frustrated because, like I said, you guys, there's a lot of effort that you guys are putting in here right now. Like, you guys are really trying to get to that victory, but it's slow because there's a lot of stuff to work through. I don't think this is just easy peasy, quick and easy, okay? I think this is tedious, gradual work here. And I feel like the reason why the future is the Temperance card is because there is things that you have to keep balanced for it to get there. There are some things that you have to work on now to make sure that that future for you is concrete, is exactly what you want, and it isn't like forced. You know what I'm saying? There's, like, just like a friend of mine always said, like, before a guy gives you a Ferrari, he's got to make sure you know how to drive. So you're gonna go through all the DUI tests. You're gonna be, go to the DMV, get your written exam done, drive for them and stuff like that, get your license, and then you can, maybe even having to get a broke down car for a while to really, perfect your skills in the driving stuff. So, and then boom, there's your Ferrari. There's a lot of steps you gotta take before you get to the next spot. And I feel like there may be some impatience with that, but at the same time, I think you guys are really just kind of noticing that where you guys want to go in the future, it does take some work, it does take some diligence and some dedication, right? And I feel like whatever it is, it's kind of keeping you stuck now and kind of making your future really slow and very far off in the distance, is that there is a lot of stuff that probably you guys need to get through before you can, before you can really have that wonderful future. Now, the magician here in your crowning energy is telling me that you guys are ready to handle whatever you're dealing with, right? You guys are ready to manifest and begin the manifestation process, right? Feeling that future of yours, right? Imagine what it feels like to be in that relationship. But until then, right, until you get to that spot where you're like, this is it, this is what I wanted, this is perfect, you are ready to handle the situation at hand, right? You have all the skills and things necessary to maneuver the relationship to the spot where you are really ready to open. You have that communication ready. You have the really grounded energy needed to make sure that your feet are planted into the soil enough to kind of provide enough, I guess, foundation for your, for the storms to hit, like arguments or whatever. You guys are grounded in that respect. You guys have the emotional attachments necessary for this relationship. Okay? And you guys have that passion. You guys have passion. So, if you have everything needed in the relationship for it to prosper, I think there just needs to be a focus on what exactly needs to, I guess, be worked on within the relationship right now to have that, have it prosper to a level where you can say, hey, this is exactly what I wanted and we're at a good spot, if that makes sense, okay? Now, for your wisdom of the oracle, you'll have exchanging gifts. This is always talking about the give and take perspective, right? Or principle, rather. So be sure to to make sure that balance is good, right? Think like with all relationships, there should be a balance, right? That's why Temperance is coming up in your future. Keeping the balance, managing things that you can only manage now. Okay, well, things are kind of getting ready for you to have that future that you want. Now, there is some things that need to be, I guess, adjusted right now. I don't know if this is necessarily a need to be adjusted, per se, but I think, there's a balance that needs to be maintained, and that balance is to make sure that you are receiving as much as you're giving, right? If you're giving a lot of love and you're putting a lot of effort into a relationship right now, but you're not really seeing that stuff return to you, there's some things you need to work out there, right? There's some things that you need to really work out in this particular situation, because you guys are not getting what you are putting into this, if that makes sense. So this is really just kind of making it, like, helping you to see or pointing you toward a direction where one of the situations of what's kind of keeping this, the future from coming to you so fast is kind of where it's kind of hitting that roadblock, right? So right now, there needs to be a good, give and take balance. Are you giving enough? Is he or she giving enough? Those scales need to be balanced for y'all. And then once that is kind of, as long as it's balanced for y'all, as long as it's kind of that give and take is a fair amount of balance for you, for your perspective of how you feel, and it makes you comfortable, it makes you feel good, and it makes them feel good, right? As long as that stuff is in order, this stuff is going to pick up. Okay? Now the interesting thing here is that y'all have past life relationships, right? So y'all already know each other. You guys could be an ex. So this could be a situation where you guys got back together with an ex, or this is literally a past life relationship where this is someone that you've met in your past life, which is cool. So So you guys have a chemistry or connection with each other that I feel like has some sort of history. If you, it may have history that you guys have already made in this lifetime or past lifetime. And it's something that between you two that is just disrespect. I don't know. I can't even say the word, but it's just tight, if that makes sense. So, in regards to everything, no matter, even if it is a little difficult, I feel like the relationship that you guys have is one that's extremely close, and one that's, just, it's very unique, and I don't see this as, like, any of it's like these obstacles that come up your way are like a make or break moment. You may need to go slow with how things are being kind of, I guess, approached, how you guys communicate, how the dynamic of give and take is. If you're putting in enough effort, if that person in your life is putting in enough effort, regardless of all that, I think this is a relationship that has its connection to you in a way that is very sacred, I feel. Okay? I think that is really... Okay. Y'all. See, I was right. Okay? Y'all gotta seek victory through your efforts, right? But you guys have to have balance, right? You're gonna get to that point where you're really focusing on the give and take, right? The give and take. Are you giving enough? Are they giving enough? There has to be a balance, right? Because this is all about giving back and then also receiving as well. It's that cycles, that's, of, reciprocation and, reciprocation and giving back, all that goodness. Keeping that balance. And that's what the focus is with temperance. Balance, balance, balance. And as long as you keep that balance right, you'll have victory. You're going to move fast. That balance is going to help you propel to your future. And that is just basically like pretty freaking awesome. You got 3 balance cards, y'all. 3. So as long as you keep the balance of, give and take and everything, y'all gonna be good. Y'all gonna actually feel that speed kind of like pick up. Okay, you guys are gonna get that victory. You're gonna get that relationship that you're wanting. You're just gonna have to work on the small things, work on the things that are kind of making the relationship unbalanced. And once that's addressed, Chariot's gonna have your back.